Good evening and welcome to BTV. My name is Matt Osborne. Tonight we're going to be taking you to a transgendered art exhibition and we're going to find out what it means to be Jewish and homosexual. But first, it's time for the segment that sounds like a 500-kilometre checkup for your vajayjay or your lady garden. It's time for lip service.
Think before you speak.
I just got the last time I told you when you told your mother and your mother told me that you
They
told
slip of
her
the
the
tongue.
secret I told you not to tell.
Right, thanks Malcolm, that's a really interesting situation. I'll put it to the panel. Good evening, you're with Lip Service. I'm Simon J, my lovely panel are with me as ever. We have the lovely Craig, fantastic Jessica and Dr. Nate, no expense, absolutely no expense. So Malcolm called just a few moments ago on the pink BTV phone, as you saw, of course. It wasn't fake at all, it really did. It was Malcolm. Malcolm called and he has got a mad crush on his roommate.
Oh.
Okay.
Roommate?
Yeah, housemate.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they share a house.
Sure, yep.
Housey.
In Clifton Hill, I think he said.
Okay.
But for the purposes of this, it will be Clifton Hill. All right? Okay. So they're living in Clifton Hill. He's got a mad crush on his housemate. What does he do? Does he tell him? Does he... Will it, if it's not reciprocated, could it make living together very awkward?
Yes.
I think it could really... He might not be a housemate soon if it goes the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. If you were the housemate, how would you feel?
Well, don't you sort of treat it more like a business relationship when you're in... You don't want to go there and mix it. I don't know.
Yeah, but mate, like, look, maybe, once again, you know, maybe the housemate also feels that way. They're already living together, so, like, don't have to have that awkward when do we move in together discussion.
True.
You know? It could
positive.
be, it's just,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, there's always a positive, isn't
it could be amazing.
there? Yeah, but it could be awful.
It could be, but do you want to take the risk?
I don't know. Depends, really, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, doesn't it? Malcolm needs to be more specific about, you know, how much he feels for his housemate.
Is Malcolm getting any signals back, do you think?
Well, that's right, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and how much, like you say, I suppose how much does he have the feelings, you know, is he really wanting to give it a good
What's it
crack
worth?
or, you know,
What's it worth?
yeah. Is it just a, he could be a bit of
are
a
they friends as well? I don't know. Yeah. Or is
Maybe
it,
they're
yeah.
not.
And maybe if he's just got a bit of a backup plan. So, you know, he could say, oh, well, the lease is running out in a month's time. Let's do it in 2 weeks' time. So then if it's awkward, then
Hey,
they
that's
can...
good.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
It's not going to happen. I think that they're going to get together.
They'll
and
be get together and
Go
everything.
their separate ways if
happy.
it goes all nasty. Yeah.
Which it won't. But
Well,
it's nice to
it
have the
can't really go
options.
nasty, can it? It's not like it's a you know, a dark situation. It's a light and positive situation, isn't it?
Well,
Malcolm's
hopefully.
And
Yeah.
people always like to be told that they're liked. Like, you know, it's a nice thing. So
that's
it's a
right.
nice thing for him to do to his housemate.
So it's empowering.
Yeah.
It's empowering. Yeah. It's flattering.
Yes.
As long as he's not scratching at the door at 9, that's probably not attractive,
No,
is it really?
No. Or
No,
perving,
no.
you know, peeping Tomish sort of behaviour.
I don't know.
No. What, you know, offering to wash his undies and things.
No,
Oh, we're going
don't
down.
agree with that.
It's a dark place again, sorry. There you go, Malcolm. So that's our view on that one. Okay. This is from, who's this one from? I keep forgetting the names. Oh, this is Annika. She was in a coma for 2 weeks, poor Annika. Oh, yeah.
Goodness, this sounds very serious.
It does, doesn't it?
When Annika came out, she found that her girlfriend had started going out with her best friend.
Why is that?
After 2 weeks in a coma.
2 weeks in a coma.
Well, that's not very caring, is it?
Well,
You don't want to be with somebody that's going to do that.
But it's almost understandable because if you don't know when she's coming out of the coma, they're both stressed at the bedside.
2
you know,
weeks is a long time to wait, isn't it?
Sleepless, you know, there's
Right.
the 3 a.m. Let's have a coffee because,
Confiding
you know,
in each other.
exactly. And then, but still, 2 weeks.
yeah.
Yes, I say, Annika, get rid of.
You think?
Yes,
Yeah, I think that's a
Yes.
fairly clear-cut one, to be honest, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not nice. I
She
mean,
could just
really.
pretend she has amnesia and...
Forget
you know.
who she is.
Oh, who are you anyway?
Good idea.
Oh, nice one.
That's one way of
don't
going
know
about it.
you.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe in the medical scene that
It's
would...
not, it might mean she's stuck in hospital longer, you know.
Yeah,
you don't
right.
want that.
Ah,
Yeah.
Or even locked up in a different kind of hospital. for a while.
Maybe.
Could all go pear-shaped.
I don't know, but she definitely needs to give her the axe.
Kind of a movie script, isn't it? Pretending. Yeah, definitely give her the axe.
Yeah, poor Annika.
If she'd have been in the coma 2 months, would that have been okay?
No.
2 years, maybe.
2 years.
Yeah. I think 2 years.
years?
Forgivable.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's unlikely to be in a coma for that long. Just, just
Yeah.
in general.
Well,
like,
yeah,
it's,
Because what would they have been told? Oh, she's in a coma and we don't know how long it's going to
yeah,
be.
it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't work like that.
So you should
it's not like the
get
movies.
out there and see other people. Yeah, right. Because, you know.
After 2 years, though.
Yeah.
After 2 years sitting by the bedside, it's okay to start dating.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't obviously at the hospital very often while Annika was in a coma, was she?
But maybe she was. That's how they got together, because they were both visiting Annika and by her bedside.
Oh, I see.
Maybe it
Washing her hair.
was Annika's nurse or something. That.
Oh.
Yeah. We could write movies.
Oh, gosh.
I think she's better off, Annika. You're better off, dear.
Yes.
All right then. There you go, Annika. We think you should dump her. Well and truly. Alrighty. The next caller, his name was Penelope. Penelope, this one. Now, Penelope.
Let's call her Penny.
Penny, because we're friends, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, let's call her Penny.
Yeah. Penny has a problem that she'd actually tried to finish with her partner. The partner won't have it.
Oh.
He's not listening.
Oh.
So she's trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this.
Well,
one.
how hard is she trying? I mean, what has she done to...
She's tried to finish it. She's
Right.
She's told her it's over.
in a sort of gentle way, perhaps.
What, she
you
didn't
know?
specify what
Well,
No,
so
okay.
so you're saying the partner's just saying no, we're still together? Oh.
Denying it. Denying.
Denial.
Oh, that's...
I just
Lovely
wonder
river in
how.
Egypt.
Like, how can you just? How would that even work? Like, if you just
Yeah.
just move out.
That's
like, I
right,
don't know.
yeah.
Like,
Penny must still be going and seeing her
Exactly.
or something. Or
Well,
are they just on the
probably
phone
still
and the
living together
partner's...
or not. I mean, you know, I mean,
So we think Penny's a
Clearly.
lunatic then, really?
well,
Penny's partner
Penny?
hasn't got the message.
Oh no, sorry,
Clear
the
enough.
partner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe she needs to just
Say it louder.
be a bit
Well, she
more...
probably needs to leave the country for a little while, you know, something like that. Something really
Yeah.
dramatic, something sharp, clear.
Self-induced coma. That will do it.
On Annika and Penny.
Yeah. Then she'll give up.
There you go.
well, maybe they could get together.
That's
Oh, Penny and Annika.
Pennica and Annika are meant for each other,
love
aren't they?
that.
That would be amazing.
nice.
Penny-
We are going to
Celebrity
get.
name.
We're going to get their numbers, and I'm going to pass that on. Pennica and Annika.
No, that's the
They're already
celebrity
merged
name.
into one.
Yes, well...
Pennica and Annika.
Yes.
Self-induced coma. That will get rid of the girlfriend, and Penny's
Maybe
dumped,
not.
So she's single. of
Maybe
course,
not.
so that's fine.
But yeah.
I think we've killed two birds with one stone. Thanks, panel. You're with Lip Service. We solve your problems. We want to hear from you. So please email us at feedback@benttv.org.au, and we'll see you next time.
Well, that was Lip Service. Would you take any of their advice? Next, we're going to take you to an art exhibition for some very, very brave and young transgendered people.
Good afternoon and welcome to BTV. Today we've got a very special episode for you. We're here in the middle of the city of Melbourne, a fabulous centre of art and culture. And we're here with Stevie Jacobs, who's part of YGender. Gender Y?
YGender.
YGender. What is YGender?
YGender is a youth support group for trans and gender diverse people under the age of 25, or their allies, people in the community, doctors, friends, partners, whoever. As long as they're respectful, they're welcome.
Brilliant. Now, we're standing here in front of one of your own art pieces because you're also an art maker person, not a professional artist. Do you want to tell us about this piece and what it's doing hanging on this wall?
This piece represents some of the struggles that I've gone through since beginning my transition. It's kind of a moving piece. Each panel represents a different thing and a different person. I started my medical transition in January this year, so 7 months ago, and the effect testosterone has had on me has been quite extreme in some cases. This panel here represents me feeling like a bit of a werewolf or an outsider, and moving here, my partner, I admit I emotionally cheated on her at one point, and it got really hectic, especially when I turned to drugs to cope with that. And that's sort of what this represents, the secrecy and the guilt and the internal shame I had. That's upside down for a reason. All of my friends got completely sick of my behaviour, and I'm surprised I actually still have a girlfriend. This one here is more my partner and I learning how to communicate and sort of meeting in the middle. And this, I guess, represents people on the outskirts looking in on our relationship and wondering why the hell, she's trying and I haven't given up. And some of the friends had more faith in us than others and told us to just basically listen to our hearts and it will all come together in the end. And that's where it ends there.
That's brilliant. Now, a lot of the artwork around here is about the point of transition and the huge amount of changes and the trauma that you undergo both physically and psychologically in the process of transitioning genders. And this artwork celebrates that. But what's amazing about this artwork is it's also a celebration.
Yes.
Of people. The brightness of colour. There's also, underneath a lot of the trauma, there's also a lot of joy. Would you?
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. The harder times, when you get through them, it's definitely helps you appreciate the better times after it all ends.
And we all know that the pain will never end, but
definitely.
But we always have to celebrate the joy. Yeah,
definitely. We all learn better ways of coping with things, and most of the artwork, all funds raised will go to YGender, but the pieces that I've created, if they do get sold, it'll go towards my chest surgery.
Is this an annual exhibition, or is this the first off?
This is the first off. A few of us in the community decided that a lot of us are quite creative in different ways, and we wanted to figure out how we could bring that together to express where we're all at. The theme of the exhibition is identity and who we are and where we fit into the community.
Now, if you were to pick one to be your favourite, the one that's not yours.
I would say that one over there, the Tranny Mag one.
Why is that?
I think it's quite an honest portrayal of what trans women go through. They get a lot of crap in public. In some ways, easier to be a trans male in the community purely because we pass better in certain ways and it's safer in that respect. And there seems to be a lot of fighting between trans men and trans women over who has it harder, but I think the more people learn to come together and celebrate what we have in common rather than fighting about what's different, I think the better off we'll be sooner.
Absolutely, unity. But that's part of what makes us as a community very strong and very vital and very dynamic is the fact that we do all feud occasionally, but we also get along very well together.
Yes.
And this is part of the whole process, both the pain and the celebration.
Yeah.
What's next for you as an artist or as a person or what's the next step for you?
Well, I want to focus more on writing. I'm actually more of a writer than I am a painter. I've wanted to publish my own book for my entire life, so I'll be focusing on that.
Well, thank you very much, Stevie. This has been amazing. And for those of you who don't know, we're Melbourne, Lonsdale Street. And check it out. Keep an eye out for all the fabulous artwork that's happening around the city from our community and come out and support it. It is a brilliant piece of creativity that sustains us as a community. We're here at the YGender Exhibition again. We're here with Katelyn with a piece of artwork that's part of the YGender Exhibition that celebrates all things transgender. Katelyn, this is a very powerful piece of work. Mood repairs here. What's the inspiration behind it?
Basically, to do with the way doctors treat us, trying to medicate things that may or may not need medication, and the way that misdiagnoses can actually fuck us up more than we were to begin with. And
you think that still happens now, even with so many years of transgender surgery and psychiatry and all of that, this still isn't a final solution, is there?
Not really, and especially not for people at the start of their transition where they haven't met doctors who are experienced and have met with the kind of issues we deal with.
Are you an artist otherwise, or did you just put this together for this, or...?
Not really much of an artist. I threw this together and got told it was up after it had already been put on the wall.
That's brilliant. No, that's good. But do you, as somebody who hasn't otherwise practiced this kind of art, was there a process for you in terms of, did you feel good about getting involved? I'm trying to get the idea that creativity and artistry is important for all of us, and it's a good means of expression.
Got given a pencil and some paper and asked to draw something, and
but how do you feel now that you see it hanging on the wall amongst all the other artwork? And you were here at the launch?
Yeah. I felt really flattered, and honestly a bit shocked that people came up to me and told me that they really liked it.
You've signed it?
Yeah.
And it is for sale?
Yep.
A piece of artwork, ladies and gentlemen. It could be yours. Well, thank you so much. That's brilliant. Before we go, can you pick one of your favourite pieces of art that's not yours?
I think I'd also have to go with the Tranny Mag one. It's really powerful and raw and just has a lot of emotion in it.
The other pieces, some of the raw pieces, such as yours, extremely powerful just by their very simplicity. And I think that's one of the things about this exhibition is it does hit you in the gut. The celebration of mutability and the fact that we're all in the process of change and changing. Yet again, artistic insight from your crew at BTV.
Well, that story got my juices flowing, my creative juices. Next, we've got a queer idea and an interview with Michael Barnett from Aleph Melbourne.
Tonight on A Queer Idea, I've got a very special guest with me. I've got Michael Barnett. Michael, thank you very much for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, Michael, you're actually here not to be interviewed because of something that you are, but because of something that you aren't.
Oh.
So when we have discussions about religion, people say, oh, you've got to talk to Michael Barnett, he's Jewish. But that's not the case?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I have been involved with and currently am a representative of a Jewish social and support organisation, and I grew up with a strong Jewish identity. However, in the last number of years, I've found less need to have a religious identity, and so for me, that isn't as much a part of my life as it used to be.
Okay, so you were brought up with well, I guess we call it Judaism?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, from day one, effectively, and everything that entails onwards. Bar mitzvah, the works.
Okay, see, because now this is, I guess, what I wanted to clarify for myself, because if, let's say, you were brought up Jewish and don't have a Jewish faith now, does that mean you're no longer Jewish? Or, because Judaism seems to be about culture and tradition as well, and race.
Well, it's what you want it to be, really, and in fact, in life, you are what you want to be, and I don't need somebody else to put their labels on me to keep them happy. I am Michael, and I do what I need to do. A lot of things I do in my life are in a Jewish context because I find a strong need to work with Jewish people. For me personally, it's not so important.
Okay, so because I'm well, some people would say a lapsed Catholic. I would say an atheist.
Right.
So, but I still went through some of those things. So, as a Catholic, you do First Communion, and then you do your confirmation. What are some of the ones that you did as a kid?
Well, look, I was brought up going to Jewish day schools and Sunday schools, and I learned to read and write Hebrew. I don't speak it, but I can sort of understand some of it. Had the bar mitzvah at the age of 13.
Now, because what is the bar mitzvah?
Oh, it's a rite of passage within the Jewish religion. Effectively, you become a man in the eyes of the Jewish law, and it's also, that's for boys, and there's a similar ceremony for girls called bat mitzvah, and effectively you become a man. It's like a rite of passage.
And I would assume then the girls become women, not men as well.
Yeah, but having not been through that process, I don't really know much about it.
Oh, like it's a secret ceremony thing?
Well, no, I have a brother, not a sister, so I don't really know much about it.
But don't you go to girls' bat mitzvahs?
I've never been to one in my life.
Ah, fascinating.
No.
Okay.
Well, in fact, the way that, from what I gather, is that boys have individual bar mitzvahs, and sometimes, from what I understand, girls have them in groups. So I can't comment. I've never been to one.
Okay, it sounds like you're making it sound like a secret ceremony. Now, for me, in Christianity growing up, like there's a Christmas and we get the socks and the candy cane.
Right.
Now, tell me about, what's this, like I only know about it through like shows like The Nanny and South Park. What's a dreidel?
A dreidel is, it's a spinning top. It's a, traditionally, I think, wooden, but it could have been something else, maybe bone, spinning top, which has 4 Hebrew letters on the side, and depending on whether you're inside Israel or outside Israel, it will have different letters.
Oh.
and a great miracle happened here or a great miracle happened there. It's about the celebration of the miracle that happened where the oil burnt in the temple after it was ransacked, and it lasted a full 8 days instead of 1 day.
Now,
it's a toy, and you get money if it lands on certain letters, apparently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't get ransacked, then you get money.
It got ransacked.
It got ransacked. Okay. So now, tell me a little bit more about the different types of people who do consider themselves Jewish. Because I mean, you go all the way from, if you like going to balaclava, you've got I call them the chocolate cake hat people. And then you've got your secular Jews. Tell me a little bit about the difference there.
Well, the people that you're referring to, who are part of very tight-knit religious communities, extremely tight-knit, very insular religious communities, have these garments that they wear which carried through from Eastern Europe. And they wear them these days as part of their religious attire and their identity. And for them, that's an important part of their culture. Okay. And they live very closed lifestyles, very devout, very religious, and I would say problematic from a queer perspective, because
yes.
There is no homosexuality, no any other sexuality except get married, have kids sexuality. Then through all the various, the rainbow or spectrum of religious belief within the Jewish community, you might go from that extreme end to through Orthodox, modern Orthodox, perhaps to conservative and progressive, and even almost atheist or secular humanist Judaism.
Okay, so you go from really extreme Orthodox, where you've got like the ringlets,
the curly side locks, yes,
all the way through to like relaxed
and chilled.
Relaxed and chilled Jews, which are called secular. Oh,
well,
beautiful.
There's a whole everything. It's very flexible. But from one end, they won't necessarily consider anybody else as typical or correct Jews. So the more at one end you are, the less they believe are real Jews.
Oh, okay, yeah. Everyone thinks that they're the best one of the thing that they are.
Yes.
Now, we've touched now on homosexuality. Yes. And once we've touched it, we can't let it go. So, let's see, as a Catholic, I used to think that, Jesus was my pal, then Jesus was my boyfriend, then I found out that his dad didn't like me, and I went through this whole kind of, over the years, this distancing from the religion. What was that kind of journey for you?
Well, look, I guess growing up, it was about being Jewish and having a Jewish identity for me, and that's kind of all it was, which kind of put me on the outer when I was in a government school and the people around me weren't Jewish, and it kind of made me feel different. And when they all had Christmas and Christmas presents and I didn't, it felt a bit weird. Going through my teens and struggling with sexuality and my identity, it came sort of, my religious identity came up in question with all of that. Actually, earlier, at the point of around when I was starting to perhaps go through puberty, I also started questioning God and religion back around when I was 10. So these questions were at the back of my mind all the time, and it probably wasn't until I actually was out as a gay man to myself and my family that I started wondering, why am I going to synagogue and sitting in a synagogue paying good money for a seat at the High Holy Days and having them talk about homosexuality being a sin? I don't think that that's a good way to spend my money. And so I stopped going to synagogue then, because I didn't feel that I could do myself any justice hearing that particular perspective.
Okay. Now, if there are young people who are sort of finding themselves possibly in a similar situation, you're part of a support group, I believe?
I coordinate a support group, advocacy social group called Aleph, Melbourne.
All right, beautiful, and we'll get those details up on the screen for the people. Look, thank you very much for coming in today and clarifying and demystifying the mystics, I guess.
Gosh, I could go for years on that.
Okay, but we don't have years. So, look, thank you very much for joining us, and that's it for A Queer Idea for tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Now, if you'd like to help us at Bent TV, if you'd like to volunteer or become a series producer or a camera person, please contact us at www.benttv.org.au. We'd love to hear from you, and we could really do with the support and the help. Thank you. Good night.